Consistency is one of those things that I feel like gets misconstrued, and a lot of people forget to realize what it actually means, including myself. And for example, I haven't uploaded in the last few days, and that's simply just because of my work schedule and how much work has been whipping my ass this week. I haven't actually had any time to even sit down and even try to make a video for the channel. But I also beat myself up for it too, because I want to be consistent, not for anyone else, but for me, because I want to be able to prove it to myself that I can be consistent. I want to be able to prove to myself that I can do something over time. And that's what I feel like consistency is showing up time and time again, right? Over time, and being not necessarily motivated, right? Because motivation is only a small part of it. And I feel like motivation is, of course, good, but motivation has a certain threshold, has a certain timeline, and it doesn't always last for everybody. But discipline is that thing that stays consistent. Discipline is that thing that will keep you in check. It's going to keep you doing what you need to do because you have ingrained it in yourself to become disciplined. And that also ties in with consistency, right? Having those habits, right? Building those habits. But what I was trying to say is that consistency is simply just showing up for yourself time and time again. Being able to show up no matter the circumstance. If you were to, for example, set a goal for yourself to be consistent, and that goal was to go outside and go for a walk for 2 minutes once a week. If you show up once a week and go for that walk every single week, right? That is consistency, right? Consistency is different for everyone. But you showing up every single week for 2 minutes a day, walking outside, because that's the goal that you set for yourself, means you're consistent. It means that you're also disciplined because you're building that habit over time, right? You're showing up for yourself every single week, right? And just because it's not every single day or every other day doesn't mean that you're not consistent. That's actually the opposite. It actually means that you are consistent every single week, and showing up for yourself means that you were disciplined enough to do that. It means that you were determined enough to actually do that. You had enough drive to go outside and go for a week or go for a walk every single week. And you can't take that away from yourself. And I feel like that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people will tend to beat themselves up, will tend to torture themselves because they feel like they're not being consistent. And I fall under that category. I feel like I'm not doing enough. You might feel like you're lazy. You're lazy for not putting in effort. You're lazy for not doing what you said you were trying to do. You're lazy for not doing this or not doing that. It's not worth it anymore. But the fact that you're still showing up for yourself, right? Because this is a lifelong journey and we have time. So the fact that you're showing up for yourself over a long span of time means that you are being consistent. The only thing you have to do is flip your perspective and zoom out a little bit, right? Because you're in the micro. But when you zoom out in the macro sense and you see how many times that you've showed up for yourself, how many times you've been consistent over time, then you will you will see that it's not that you're not consistent. It's probably that you're too hard on yourself, that you have high standards for yourself, of course, because you want to see yourself do good, because you've set plans for yourself, because you told yourself that you were going to do something, and you're not the type of person to not do it. You're not the type of person to quit on yourself, and you're the type of person to see things through. You're the type of person to get things done, and that's a good thing. That's a good trait to have. But what is not good is being negative, speaking ill on yourself. Right? That's the circle that tends to happen. That's the cycle that will happen. And you think that by not being consistent and not keeping up with your habits, which is funny because consistency is a habit, but not keeping up with that and those habits and those patterns will start to create that cycle you used to have where you fall back on yourself, where you used to fall back on yourself, where you used to reignite those bad habits, right? Because you have the good habits and you have the bad ones, depending on how you see them. Either way, they're habits and they're patterns, and those old behaviors that you told yourself you weren't going to have because you wanted to create new ones or healthier ones or better ones, right? But the less or the more that you start to beat yourself up on not doing what you wanted to do, the more mental stress you have, and it wears down on you, wears down on that mindset, kills the mindset, that positive mindset that you were having. And you fall back on those old behaviors, and they're bad behaviors. They're not good behaviors. And that's my opinion. If you're doing the wrong things, if you're doing the things that you were trying to run away from, that behaviors you were trying to escape, then they're not good behaviors. You were running away from them. You were running away from them for a reason, because they weren't helping you. And having that consistency in your life is a good behavior. It's a good pattern. It's a good habit. And consistency is a habit. So the fact that you're able to do something on a regular basis, the fact that you're able to show up for yourself on a regular basis, means that you have that discipline, that you have that motivation, and you have that drive, whether you see that or not. And it builds up over time, and it becomes more ingrained. And you don't have to feel bad for missing a week, missing a day or two or three or four. As long as you get right back on that track that you kind of derailed from, then that's all that matters. Jumping right back on is what matters. Realizing where your falls are, right? Realizing where you lie at fault. And then course correcting is all you need to do. That's all you're gonna need to do. As long as you stay on track, you're gonna have slip-ups and you're gonna have mistakes, because guess what? You're only human. So you cannot be hard on yourself for that, right? Everybody's gonna make mistakes, and it's not like you're perfect, so don't try to be. As long as you get right back on it, you'll be okay. That's what consistency is. Being able to show up for yourself every single time. Being able to rely on only yourself. And that's the only thing that matters. Everything I just said is simple, not easy. Love y'all, man. Peace, y'all.